Hi everyone, and welcome to this webinar on studying for a Master of Science Communication at the University of Western Australia. I'm just going to give everyone about 30 seconds before we start proper to allow for the fact that Zoom suddenly takes about 30 seconds or so for everybody to be allowed into the room. So if you just bear with me for about another 20 seconds or more, we'll make a start if that's okay. To remind you all that if you want to ask any questions at all throughout, please use the question and answers at the bottom, and we'll make a start officially in about 10 seconds just to allow for everybody to come into the Zoom room. So making the start in about 5 seconds now, and then we'll kick off. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much everyone for joining us, and welcome to this short webinar on Master of Science Communication at the University of Western Australia. My name's Sam Illingworth, and along with my colleague Dr. Heather Bray, I'm one of the program leaders for Science Communication at UWA. You can contact me at any time via my email address down here. Really happy to answer any questions you might have. If you've got any questions at all during this presentation, please just use the question and answer function and we'll pick them up and answer them. And I'm just going to have a bit of an overview of the course, and then we're going to hear from some current students and also some alumni as well as to why this is a great course for you to consider taking. I'd just like to begin with an acknowledgement of country. So the University of Western Australia acknowledges that its campus is situated on Noongar land, and that Noongar people remain the spiritual and cultural custodians of their land and continue to practice their values, languages, beliefs, and knowledge. So why study with us? Well, science communication is a great master's to do. It enables you to gain skills and communicate in science with a variety of publics using a range of media. So, things like blogs, podcasts, exhibitions, interpretations, presentations, strong links with industry, networking opportunities and work experience placements, and it's run by world-leading science communication researchers and practitioners. So both myself and my colleague, Dr. Heather Bray, are internationally renowned experts in this field, and there's opportunities for you to conduct research with us whilst you're here. And of course, the really exciting news is that we have Commonwealth supported places as well, which means that it's even more affordable to come and study for a Master of Science Communication here at UWA. In terms of the actual units that you study, there's a large variety that's on offer. As you can see here, you'll have units dedicated to science policy, to citizen science, a science practicum, which is your opportunity to go and do work experience with a client on science communication, professional skills in science, communication strategies for change, and variety of different research skills as well. It's also a really cool thing that there's 2 different pathways available for you. If you're someone who's really interested in doing a dissertation, you have a research pathway in which you'll be able to do that dissertation on a science communication topic of your choice. And alternatively, you could just go down the coursework option in which you'll pick a number of different elective units if a dissertation isn't something that you'd like to do. In terms of career opportunities, now this is something that's really important to us because we want you to come to the university to have a fantastic time, to find out about science communication, to meet new people, to, take on a number of different extracurricular activities and volunteering roles. But we also want to provide you with the best possible opportunity to get employment at the end of your career and at the end of your graduate experience. So there's several different outcomes that are available for you: science journalism, public relations, science communication, science policy. And our recent graduates are employed by a number of different organisations such as science museums, media outlets, government agencies, international agencies, and research organisations. So if you're going to come and study science communication at UWA, you're going to have a fantastic educational experience. It's going to be rich, it's going to be rewarding, it's going to be interesting, but you're also going to be incredibly well set up for a career and for employment in what is a blossoming and exciting field. Please do find us online. So you can follow us on Twitter and on YouTube and Instagram by looking for @UWA SciComm. We also have a Facebook group, which is very active. So please do come and join us. It's a public Facebook group, and you can find out about the various activities that we do and how you can also become more involved. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to pass across to one of our current students, Wei Lim, who's going to talk to us a little bit about her experience at being on the master's program at UWA. Thank you, Wei Lim.
Thank you, Sam. Yes, so hello everyone, I'm Wei Lin, and like Sam said, I'm currently doing my Master of Science Communication at UWA, and this is actually currently my last semester. So to give you guys a little background on me, I actually did my undergraduate at UWA in biomedical science, so specifically pathology and pharmacology. And some of you might be wondering why I made the leap into something that's not exactly based in a lab, but I found in my undergraduate degree that I was missing something. I was very much drawn to science, but I also wanted to work with people. And that is something that you can definitely do in science communication. So even in my units in science communication, there is a lot of opportunity for practical work. And I think my favorite parts of the unit so far have been the opportunities to go out and work with people in the community. So earlier this year, I actually did my the practicum unit that Sam mentioned, where you do get work experience. And for that summer, I spent about 80 hours helping to organize an event for high school students at UWA. And this was a science event as well. And that was tremendously fun. And I actually got to shape some of the talks and organize all the sessions and work with all these different people across different areas. Aside from getting that kind of work experience, I also think that one of the benefits of the course is its flexibility, because you have so many different units to choose from. So I am actually doing the coursework pathway because I didn't do science communication in undergraduate. So I feel as though I wanted to get a broad taste of everything. And most of my units I'm currently doing right now are focused more on marketing and strategic communications. But then I know a lot of people are also doing other units in science policy and also public health as well. So having those kinds of options is really, really helpful. And finally, I think my most favorite part of being in the Master of Science Communication program is actually the community in it. I was quite worried when I first started because I just done 3 years of my undergraduate with all these biomedical science people. I was worried that I had to kind of restart all of that again, but I shouldn't have been worried. It was very, very easy to make friends, and we're actually all very close right now. We always have different meetups and events, and having that network to support each other is very, very helpful when you're undertaking something as difficult as a postgraduate degree. Yeah, I think that really wraps up my portion here. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Wei Lim. And up next, I'd like to invite Shani, who's going to talk to us a little bit about her experience as an alumni as well of the course. Thank you, Shani.
Hello, everyone. My name's Shani. You can see my former surname there in brackets. Recently got married. So yeah, if you want to look up any of my publications, look up for Austin and Sullivan 2018. My brain's all over the place. So yeah, I did the Masters of Science Communication, graduated 2018. So I actually did it when Miriam Sullivan and Anne Grant were taking care of the course, but I'm sure Heather and Sam are doing a fantastic job at the moment. So I did the dissertation as well as coursework pathway, which I found really valuable. So I actually did the undergrad major in science communication at UWA before starting my master's program. Which, yeah, I worked out halfway through to my degree that I liked talking about science more than I was good at doing it. So it's great, yeah, if you like science, but you're not necessarily great with the hands-on practical things, or maths scares you a bit. It's a great way to combine, yeah, the humanities side of the world as well as your science knowledge. So he can see a very attractive photo of me at PCST, which is the, sorry, there's a little train going by next to my house, the International Science Communication Conference, which is held every couple of years. So this one was in 2018 at the University of Otago in New Zealand. And here I'm able to present some of my research that I was doing, investigating the impact of live science shows. So after graduating, I got a job at SciTech, which is the local science centre here in Perth. We have over 100 hands-on activities, interactive exhibits, as well as science shows, planetarium shows, and puppet theatre. So I started off as a programs officer, creating hands-on activities, so workshops and things like that. And then at the start of this year, I took on the role of the acting science theatre coordinator, which is really nice because it's what I studied in my degree. So yeah, back to Psychon UWA. Yeah, as Waylon was saying, the community there is just fantastic. Science communicators are a really weird bunch of people. So if you're as crazy as we are, you'll fit right in. And yeah, it's really supportive little community that you form in postgrad. And yeah, I hope you still do cake every Thursday. I used to do cake days when you did research group. Great idea. Even if it's virtual.
Great. Thanks so much, Shani. So now's your opportunity really to ask questions of us. I can see that you've already started to ask lots of questions in the Q&A. So I'm going to pick those up now. And as I'm answering those, if anybody else would like to ask any questions of either me or Waylin or Shani, please do put them into the question and answers at the bottom. First of all, to address the most important part, of course, there's still Cake Day. Obviously, it's in a slightly different format, given that there's a global pandemic going on. But so that's a question addressed that Hannah came up with very importantly. Another question that Hannah's got is, do you need a background in science to do the Master of Science Communication? Hannah, that's a really good question. And actually a lot of our master students don't have that background, and they're coming from marketing backgrounds, they're coming from business backgrounds, they're coming from communication and linguistic backgrounds. And we recognize that science communication is a truly interdisciplinary academic area and an area of practice as well. And so what we have is conversion units. So those students who don't have a science background, basically all they need to do is they need to do these conversion units, which take part as part of the 4-semester 2-year program. So we really welcome students from a wide variety of different backgrounds, different experiences and different skill sets. And it's a great way for us to all to learn from each other as well in that process. So in terms of the entry requirements or prerequisites for Masters of Science Communication, Kika, that's something to take up with the applications team. But basically, if you've done well in your undergraduate and if you're a dedicated student, then it's something we'd be really interested in bringing forward. And you don't have to have a science background. You just have to have an interest there and have demonstrated that you have a good undergraduate degree or equivalent with that. So James says they've been a civil engineer and wanted to change career. Is it right at the age of 39 to enter into this field? James, what I'd say is that there's always a good time to come into science communication. And science communication is full of people from a variety of different backgrounds, a variety of different ages, and a variety of different points in their career trajectory as well. And if this is something that you're interested in, I think doing the Masters provides you with the space in which to further investigate your skills as a science communicator, to get to know the landscape, to network, and also to get experiences that then help you to stand out in a competitive marketplace as well. So another question here from Sarah, which is, what are the benefits of doing the research component over just the coursework component in terms of employment outcomes? So I think we've heard from Waylin and Shani that both of these are really great opportunities, and they both just lead to maybe slightly different careers. What I would say is doing the coursework option, like Waylin stated, if you really want to have a wide breadth of learning, you're open up to all of the other master's units across the university, which means that you can get a taste for all of those. And if you're really interested in one specific area, and particularly if you're interested in going into academia after the master's, then doing a dissertation is a very good idea, as it enables you to really have the depth of study that's available there for you. So question here from Saswat is, what kind of research are students supposed to undergo during such a course? So we heard there from Shani about her research experience, and honestly, in terms of the research project you want to do, you can do anything. So my own research is about the use of poetry and also games as a way to facilitate dialogue between scientists and non-scientists, and to give voice to audiences that are traditionally underserved and underheard by science. Heather, my colleague, is an expert in agricultural science and in how agricultural science and its various discourses can be broken down. But anything that you want to do a research project in that is related to science communication, we would love to work with you on. There's a huge breadth, there's a huge depth of knowledge and understanding there, and it's really up to the student to enable them to do so. Another question from Saswat is, what kind of job opportunities exist compared to normal research jobs? Where's the competition like, and what exactly do the jobs require? So this is a very good question. I think in terms of the careers, there's the ones that I talked about. So working in science centers and science museums like Shani does really well, and the opportunities that are afforded to you there, you know, either be it a program officer or be it someone developing original and new material like Shani does with the theatre there. But there's also the opportunity to work, you know, as an academic. So looking at science communication as an academic discipline, which, as Shani presented, you know, PCST is a large global interdisciplinary conference that happens every couple of years. There's many science communication conferences. It's a growing research field, and Heather and I are probably great people to be able to guide you along in that process. You know, every single career is competitive at the moment, and I can't say with 100% guarantee that doing a master's is going to get you a job, but what it will do is it will put you and help you stand out in a very competitive marketplace. And, you know, Heather and I really care about you. We don't see you as numbers on a piece of paper. You're individual people, and we want you to get a job at the end of your degree, not only because it looks good on us, but because you're a human being and you've just studied on a degree course. So we want you to get a job at the end of it. So it's something that we take really seriously, and that we'll be able to work with you on to ensure that not only are you competitive, but you're applying in the right places, and we can provide that support as well. And then a question from Louise is, I'm currently overseas and unsure when I might be able to get back to WA. Is it possible to start some units remotely? Louise, right, we live in a bizarre world at the moment, and I think one thing we're trying to do is to accommodate for everybody's needs and experiences. I can't say for certain what any teaching will look like next term, just because the globe's changing on a daily by daily basis. But I can tell you that at the moment, we have students who are in a similar position to you, and we've just set up all of our teaching so that it can be delivered online, and so that all of our students, some of whom are trapped in the UK, some of whom are in China, some of whom are in America, means that they can actually get all of the access to all of the material that they need. We try to set up webinars and workshops that match everybody's time zones, and also provide a lot of pre-recorded information. So yes, we make everything available to you where possible, and it's something that we'd really like to explore further. So we're just about run up with time now, and I think I've succeeded in answering all of the questions, which was good. Thank you for such interesting questions along the way. If anybody's got any further questions that they'd like to address, if you could please drop me an email at sam.illingworth@uwa.edu.au. I'd be really happy to answer them. I just wanted to see if Wei Ling or Shani had anything final they'd like to add at all before we wrap up. No? Okay, in which case then I'd like to thank Wei Ling very much for being a wonderful student and for giving up their time to speak to us today and being such a great ambassador for UWA. I'd like to thank Shani for being such a wonderful alumni student and for giving up their time and being such a great ambassador for UWA. Thank you to all of you so much for your time and patience and experiences and engagement in being here. And it would be really wonderful to welcome all of you into our Science Communication Collective in 2020 and beyond. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe and hopefully see you all soon. Bye now.